Option A or Option B? Imagine an investment scenario spanning 30 years. In Option A, an initial sum of $600 is invested today. It compounds at an average annual rate of 7%. At the end of the 30-year period, every single dollar is kept. There are no taxes, no fees, and no deductions. Now, consider Option B. An initial sum of $1,000 is invested today. It also compounds at the exact same average annual rate of 7%. However, at the end of the 30-year period, exactly 40% of the final total must be surrendered to taxes. Which option yields a higher final balance? When presented with this mathematical scenario, human intuition almost universally fails. Global data reveals that roughly 35% of individuals immediately select Option A, favoring the safety of keeping the entire amount. Conversely, 43% select Option B, drawn to the larger starting principle. Only a distinct minority correctly identify the mathematical reality. They are exactly the same. Let us examine the mathematics. $600 compounding at 7% annually for 30 years results in $4,567. $1,000 compounding at the same rate for 30 years results in $7,612. Deducting the mandatory 40% at the end leaves exactly $4,567. The final balances are identical down to the cent. This exercise is not merely a mathematical trick, it is a profound demonstration of how the human brain processes complex financial variables, specifically exponential compounding, taxation, and long-term uncertainty. The inability to instantly recognize the identical nature of these two options exposes the powerful and often destructive mental shortcuts relied upon for financial decision-making. These cognitive biases dictate how retirement accounts are funded, how capital gains are perceived, and ultimately, how wealth is either accumulated or lost over a lifetime. The fundamental mathematical principle at play here is the commutative property of multiplication. In a purely theoretical environment where the tax rate remains constant, the sequence of taxation does not alter the final product. Multiplying the principal by the tax reduction first and then applying the compounding growth yields the exact same result as applying the compounding growth first and the tax reduction last. The variable of time, while seemingly complex, cancels itself out entirely when comparing the two identical growth rates. Yet, the human brain rejects this simplicity. It substitutes logic with emotion. When an individual instinctively selects Option A, they are demonstrating a classic cognitive bias known as loss aversion. Behavioral economics dictates that the psychological pain of losing a resource is significantly more intense than the psychological pleasure of gaining an equivalent resource. In Option B, surrendering 40% of a heavily compounded portfolio feels like a severe penalty. After 3 decades of growth, 40% represents a massive sum of capital. Option A, by contrast, offers absolute certainty. The promise of keeping 100% of the final balance feels secure, triggering an emotional response that overrides the mathematical reality of the lower starting balance. Conversely, selecting Option B is driven by a completely different cognitive shortcut, anchoring bias. The human brain heavily weighs the first piece of information it receives. $1,000 is objectively larger than $600. This initial discrepancy anchors the expectation. Furthermore, the brain struggles to accurately visualize exponential growth. Instinct incorrectly suggests that a larger initial principal, compounding over a massive 30-year horizon, must generate enough excess capital to easily absorb a back-end tax penalty. The 40% tax feels distant and theoretical, while the $1,000 starting balance feels immediate and tangible. These identical psychological mechanisms drive real-world financial behavior, particularly when navigating global tax-advantaged investment vehicles. Across the world, governments incentivize investing through 2 primary structures: post-tax accounts and pre-tax accounts. Post-tax accounts mirror Option A. Capital is taxed immediately at current income rates. The remaining balance is invested, compounds over time, and is ultimately withdrawn completely tax-free. Pre-tax accounts mirror option B. Capital avoids immediate taxation, allowing a larger initial sum to be invested. This larger sum compounds over time, but the entirety of the withdrawals are heavily taxed in the future. A common fallacy among investors is the belief that pre-tax accounts are inherently superior solely because more capital is compounding from day one. The assumption is that getting a tax break early allows the money to grow faster. However, as the option A and option B mathematics rigidly prove, if the tax rate upon contribution is identical to the tax rate upon withdrawal, there is absolutely zero mathematical advantage to delaying the tax. The early tax relief is a mathematical illusion if the final tax burden is proportional. But reality is rarely a closed mathematical vacuum. The critical divergence between theory and reality lies in shifting tax brackets. The ultimate utility of a pre-tax account relies on the concept of tax arbitrage. If an investor is currently in a high tax bracket, contributing to a pre-tax account shields capital from a severe immediate penalty. If that same investor retires and drops into a significantly lower tax bracket, the back-end tax penalty is drastically reduced. In this scenario, option B genuinely outperforms option A. Consider a scenario where the back-end tax drops from the hypothetical 40% down to an effective rate of 15% during retirement. Suddenly, the pre-tax account yields substantially more usable capital. This is the true power of deferred taxation, manipulating the timeline to pay taxes only when income is at its absolute lowest. However, relying entirely on pre-tax accounts introduces substantial legislative risk. Government tax policies are inherently volatile. Relying on a low tax bracket 30 years in the future is a speculative endeavor. If global tax rates rise, or if an investor's mandatory minimum withdrawals push them into a higher bracket than anticipated, the pre-tax strategy can backfire dramatically, leaving the investor financially worse off than if they had simply paid the taxes up front. This highlights the necessity of tax diversification. Prioritizing post-tax accounts early in an investment timeline offers supreme flexibility. Because the capital has already been taxed, it can generally be accessed without severe penalties before standard retirement ages. This creates a financial safety net for unforeseen circumstances. Furthermore, locking in today's tax rates through post-tax contributions acts as a hedge against future governmental tax hikes. As capital grows within a post-tax account, it can later be strategically migrated into pre-tax accounts during peak earning years to maximize immediate tax relief. This dynamic reallocation ensures that capital is constantly positioned in the most mathematically efficient vehicle based on current, not projected, legislative realities. Financial optimization requires actively suppressing human intuition. Cognitive biases like anchoring and loss aversion thrive in ambiguity. When financial plans are left to instinct, investors naturally gravitate towards the simplest, most emotionally comforting option, completely ignoring the underlying mathematics. The defense against this is absolute, rigorous modeling. Every financial decision regarding taxation and long-term compounding must be mapped out visually and mathematically, stripping away emotional narratives. Whether navigating complex contribution limits, evaluating employer matches, or predicting future legislative shifts, the underlying rule remains constant. Numbers do not possess emotions. True financial literacy requires recognizing the flaws in human psychology, overriding instinctive shortcuts, and allowing cold, objective data to guide every capital allocation.